Hello doctors, welcome back to Dr. Akhilesh-MedTalks today. And today we are going to discuss in the microbiology subject. Our first topic is virology. So before going to that, these are the QR codes of my channels. These are Telegram and the Instagram. You can access the PDFs anytime you want in the Telegram channel. And let's begin our class today. So this is not the big topic, this is a very small topic, and I am dividing the whole session into 3 or 4 parts maybe. And first today we are going to start virology. In virology, first I am going to write it. First, under the virology chapter, we are going to start first DNA viruses. So there are some DNA viruses and RNA viruses. First we are going to start DNA viruses. Okay. Under DNA viruses, we are going to discuss herpes virus. In herpes, there are 8 types, but in this video, I am going to discuss herpes 1 and herpes 2. That was HSV1 and HSV2. First, HSV. Let me write it. Herpes viruses. These are of 8 types, but in that, today we are going to discuss HSV1 and HSV2. Okay, first, what is this HSV? Herpes simplex virus. Just repeat with me. Herpes simplex virus. So, first we are going to discuss HSV1. Okay, HSV1. So, in HSV1, these viruses will cause a kind of lesion. So, first describe the kind of lesion. This lesion is fluid-filled vesicles. Fluid-filled group of vesicles in a particular place. This is a type of lesion. So, please repeat with me. What is this type of lesion? These are fluid-filled group of vesicles. Okay. So, let me write it. These are fluid filled grouped vesicles. So first I am going to tell you what is the nature, what is the kind of lesion I am going to tell you, and next point is these lesions are painful or not. Okay, if you touch that lesion or if you don't touch, it feels like painful or not. So these lesions are very painful. Okay, these lesions are very painful. Okay, and where in the what part of our body these lesions going to affect? So please try to remember this trick. HSV type 1 is going to affect above the waist. Okay, the lesions we are going to see is above the waist. In HSV2, all the lesions we see in the genital area, that means below the waist. Okay, try to repeat with me. The lesions in HSV type 1 is going to be seen in above the waist. Maybe in the face, in the neck area, we can see in the abdomen area, all these areas is above the waist, right? So, these lesions will be seen above the waist. HSV type 2, we are going to see below the waist. Okay, in this manner, you are going to answer in the exams. If any lesion, they will ask in the exam, like this lesion is affecting at the genital areas. First, whatever the answer you need to recognize is they are talking about HSV type 2, not type 1. Okay, please try to remember this point. Okay, I am going to write it. Mostly lesions seen above the waist means the most common lesion is like we have seen in many patients, like I have seen in many patients, like some patients having the grouped vesicles at the lips area. Okay, there will be grouped vesicles in the lips area. So these are known as herpes labialis. Labialis means lips. That's why this name as herpes labialis. So please try to pronounce with me herpes labialis. Okay, I am going to write the same thing. So this is the most common lesion caused by HSV type 1. So herpes labialis. So herpes labialis is most common lesion. Okay, this is also called as, also known as, what we will call this? This is also known as cold sore. Okay, if you see something around the lips, these are group kind of lesions around the lips, these are called as herpes labialis. This is also called as cold sore. This is very painful. Okay, please remember this. This is very painful. So labialis, I am going to write it here. What does this labialis means? Means lips area. Okay, you're going to see the image now. This is the type of lesion. See here, this is the grouped fluid filled vesicles around the lips. This is known as herpes labialis. It is also called as cold sore. So I am going to mark the name herpes labialis. So this is the name. Okay, and it will also cause dendritic ulcers at the eye. HSV type 1 will also cause dendritic ulcers at the eye. Okay, I am going to write the same thing, whatever I said. It will cause dendritic ulcers at eye region. Okay, and this is most important point I am going to tell you now. So I am putting the star mark here. So this is important. So you can expect the question from this area. So it will also cause temporal lobe encephalitis. It is going to cause temporal lobe encephalitis. Please remember this point. It will cause temporal lobe encephalitis. Herpes HSV type 1 will cause temporal lobe encephalitis. And after the infection subsides, so we are going to treat that HSV type 1. So after we treat the infection, so after that it remains latent in the trigeminal ganglion. Let us write it. This is also important. Please try to remember it. It remains latent in trigeminal ganglion. So maybe it can reactivate in future. So you can expect the HSV type 1 in future, because this virus is remaining latent in our body itself. That where it is remaining in our body? In the trigeminal ganglion. Okay. So I'm just going to revise it again for you guys. So first I started the virology chapter. In that I'm going to discuss that DNA viruses. I already discussed it. In that DNA viruses, the herpes viruses are the DNA viruses, and in this herpes there are of 8 types. In this video I am going to discuss HSV type 1 and type 2. First we are going to discuss HSV type 1. HSV type 1 means herpes simplex virus type 1. Let's first try to elaborate what kind of lesion it is. So first, this lesion is fluid filled, okay, grouped. These vesicles are grouped, okay, and these vesicles are painful, and these vesicles, okay, most lesions seen above the waist. This is the hint, okay. These lesions seen above the waist. Maybe you can expect at the face or at your own body above the waist, okay. And the most common lesion is herpes labialis. It is seen at the lips. Labialis means lips, okay. This is also called as cold sore, and it can also cause dendritic ulcers at the eye region, and it gonna cause temporal lobe encephalitis. This is important point. Try to remember this. and it remains latent. After you treat the infection as well, it is going to remain latent in the trigeminal ganglion. In future, you can expect the HSV type 1 ulcers as well. Okay. So, this is all about HSV type 1. And now we are moving to HSV type 2. HSV type 2 means herpes simplex virus type 2. Okay. So, I am going to discuss this one as well in detail. Okay. So, what are the points I am discussing? You try to read this much, that's good enough to attempt your exams. Okay. Don't worry about the rest of the stuff, and there is lots and lots of stuff to study, but up to some extent you need to prepare for the exams. This is good enough to answer the questions in the exams. Trust the one material what you are studying. Don't try to mug up all the things around you. There will be a lot and lots of stuff available, like many PDFs you get it but in the groups as well, but don't try to focus in all the materials. Whatever you believe, please try to focus one PDF whatever you are studying for each subject, and try to concentrate on that. Read, repeat, revise. This is what you are going to do, and you're going to crack the exams. Okay. So without any delay, let's go to HSV type 2. See, HSV type 2. So here also we are going to describe what kind of lesion it is. First, this lesion is same as HSV type 1. These are recurrent, painful, grouped vesicles. This one also recurrent, painful, grouped vesicles. Okay. So where we are going to see these lesions? These lesions seen at, for HSV type 1, I already told you these lesions seen above the waist, but in HSV type 2, these are genital ulcers. Okay. We are going to see below the waist. I am going to write the same point I already told you before. Lesions seen below the waist, that is, IE means that is genital herpes. This is very simple, guys. Above the waist, HSV type 1. Below the waist, genital ulcers, HSV type 2. This is very simple. And it is also going to cause Mollaret's meningitis. This is the point you need to remember. Like the questions comes from this area. Okay, it is going to cause Mollaret meningitis. So I hope you guys got the question. This guy said HSV type 2 ulcers will be standing below the waist. But why he is mentioning the Mollaret's meningitis? Meningitis means it is something related to our brain. Okay. Meninges stays above the waist, right? So why this guy is telling this? So this is the exception you need to remember. Okay. Mollaret's meningitis still above the waist. It is at the meninges level. This is the exception for the HSV type 2. So please try to remember this. Maybe you can expect the question from here. Okay. And for HSV type 1, I already told you it remains latent in trigeminal ganglion. But here in HSV type 2, it remains latent in sacral ganglion. Okay. It remains latent in sacral ganglion. It remains latent in sacral ganglion. Okay. Whenever the genital ulcers, genital herpes comes to your mind, you try to answer it as HSV type 2, not HSV type 1. I am going to tell you again, whenever you are going to get the question about the genital herpes or genital ulcers, please try to mark it as HSV type 2, not HSV type 1. So, Mollaret's meningitis, this is an exception. It is going to involve our meningeal inflammation. Okay. So, next we are going to Zangsel examination. So, let's say if you have any ulcers, okay, we are going to scrape the ulcers. What is the scrape mean? We are going to, let's say, whenever there was a candle, we are going to peel the candle. This is how we are going to scrape the ulcer margins in ulcer vesicles, we are going to scrape the ulcers. We are going to examine that vesicle scrapings. Okay, whenever we observe, whenever we examine that, okay, this is called as Zank's smear examinations. In Zank's smear examinations, we are going to find in HSV, let me just say in common, in HSV type 1 to 3, we are going to find in Zank's smear examinations, we are going to find Zank cells. What is this Zank cells? Zank cells means nothing but multinucleated giant cells. It is also called as multinucleated giant cells. Please remember this point. Multinucleated giant cells. What are these multinucleated giant cells? Nothing but macrophages only. Okay, these are Zank cells. Zank cells means, please don't try to go in detail. Okay, what is this Zank cell? When you do the Zank smear examinations, this when you scrape the ulcer, okay, there was some vesicles are there, right? When you scrape the vesicles, you look the vesicles, you look the scrapings of the vesicles in the, like in the microscopy or in the lab. So you are going to find the Zank cells. What is this Zank cells? Zank cells are nothing but multinucleated giant cells. Multinucleated giant cells means these are macrophages. Okay, and you are also going to find one more type of cells. This is also called as Lipschultz cells. I am going to tell you again, Lipschultz body. What is this Lipschultz body? Lipschultz body is nothing but intranuclear inclusions. Okay, Lipschultz body is intranuclear inclusions. This intranuclear inclusions comes under Cowdry type A. Okay, these intranuclear inclusions are divided into Cowdry type A and Cowdry type B. Please try to remember, don't go in deep, just try to remember intranuclear inclusions, particularly Lipschultz bodies, is due to herpes infection. In herpes infection, we are going to see Lipschultz bodies. Okay, in Lipschultz bodies, these are intranuclear inclusions. Lipschultz bodies are intranuclear inclusions. This is Cowdry type A. Okay, Cowdry type A. Okay, so there is one more hint as well to remember this. Please try to remember in this way. Z for Z, Zank cells. Z for Z is Lipschultz body. Okay, please remember in this way. This is very simple. Okay, this is all about HSV type 1 and HSV type 2. Okay, so I hope this is very simple, and I am going to revise again this HSV type 2, as I already revised the HSV type 1. HSV type 2, when the HSV type 2 comes into your mind, you try to think about genital ulcers. This is below the waist. What type of lesions is this? These are recurrent, painful, grouped vesicles. Okay, so these are genital herpes. And there is one exception here. This is Mollaret's meningitis. This is above the waist, and it remains latent in sacral ganglion. Please remember this point. And whenever HSV type 1 to 3 comes into your mind, you try to think about Zank cells. Okay, whenever you see the scrapings, whenever you take the scrapings from the vesicles, okay, you are going to see Zank cells. Okay, what are the Zank cells? Nothing but multinucleated giant cells. And you can also see Lipschultz body. Lipschultz body is nothing but it is intranuclear inclusions. This intranuclear inclusions comes under Cowdry type A. Please try to remember. Please try to memorize it. Don't try to go deep into it. Okay, just don't waste your time here. You don't have much time. Please try to remember this. Okay, and here you can expect a question. I'm just marking Q mark, so here you can expect a question. So this is all about HSV type 1 and HSV type 2. In further videos, we are going to discuss other types as well. So thanks for your patience, and try to focus whatever I said, and just try to revise the PDFs available in the Telegram channel. So thank you very much for your patience, for listening my videos and listening my lectures. So thank you very much. Bye bye.